Hello again, it's Crips and Killers with Amina Farota. My name is Amina Farota and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where I share true crimes, horror crimes, serial killers, cold murders, all type of murders. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, so please just go ahead and click on the subscription button and do not forget to click on the notification bell. Like, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. So, on today's episode, we are going to be discussing the legend of Aqua TOFANA. Have you heard it before? Okay, now it's the 17th century and we are in Italy. Now, during the Renaissance era, poisoning was common, and around this period, women were oppressed, they suffered a lot. Even if you were from a very rich family, like women were seen around this period as properties. As a daughter, your only use was you were to be sold off to a powerful man for business alliances, for the purpose of business. And then if you were a wife, all you had to do was sit at home, stay beautiful, and then give your husband heirs to inherit his properties. You get what I'm saying? So you see, around this period, women were not actually totally powerless. They drew their strength from sisterhood. So women were so many. They had a sisterhood where they could discuss their pain, their challenges around this period. And as a woman, you could not complain. Now, if you complained, you would be tortured. And then, if you were accused of poisoning your husband or killing your husband, you could be drowned. You could be pressed down. You could be burned to the stake. You get what I'm saying? So women around this period, they just drew strength from sisterhood. So, and then there was this woman. Her name is Julia Tofana. Now, Julia Tofana was the daughter of Tofana Adamo. Now, Julia Tofana was born in 1620. And when she was born, a few years after she was born, her mother was killed. You get what I'm saying? She was killed. The reason was because she was accused of poisoning her husband. That is Julia's father. Now, as a woman in this era, you just had two choices. It's either you went to the convent, become a nun, or you get married. And then when you get married, you have to face beatings from your husband, or it's either you gave him eggs or you stay. You know what I'm saying? So now there was now several women at this era, they were suffering. So there was Julia Tofana. After her mom died in 1620, she spent most of her years in the apothecary. Now, apothecary is what you will call the modern day pharmacy. So she was here, and then she started learning how to make medications, drugs to treat people, to treat the sick. So I guess it was around this period that Julia got interested in producing poison. At the beginning of this story, I said poison. In fact, Italy was known as the home of poisoning. So they had all types of poisoning. Now, Julia, you could say she was a very compassionate lady. Now, should I say she was like she was more interested in women gaining freedom. Or how do I say this? It's either you stay married, or the other option may be should I say what do I call this now? Okay, either you stay married or you look for a way to get out of the marriage, and then you couldn't get divorced at this period. So the only choice they had at this time, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not calling this a choice, was murder the man. So what she did was she developed a poison. Now this poison was called Aqua TOFANA. Sexy, right? Now, Aqua TOFANA, she produced this poison. The major ingredients in this poison were lead, arsenic, and belladonna. Now, did I say that beyond her production of poisoning was the fact that initially she was into production of cosmetics. Now, in the Renaissance era, belladonna, that particular flower, if you watch the movie Merlin, now belladonna has some kind of, now during this period, now if you had dilated pupils like bulgy eyes, you could be seen as beautiful. So what women did around this time was crush the flour, put a tincture in their eyes, and then their pupils will dilate, and then they'll be seen as, you get. That was like a kind of makeup. And then arsenic and lead, let me say they had exfoliating property. I'm not permitted to say that. They had exfoliating properties. So when you use them, you become lighter in complexion. So this was what they, so she produced this poison from belladonna, arsenic and lead, and then there was snapdragon and some other little ingredients in this poison. Now it was a very colorless liquid, just like water, so you could just keep it on the shelf. Now she gave it one, she had the powdered form and then she had the liquid one. Now for the liquid one, she kept it in bottles and it had like a picture of Saint Nicholas. Now Saint Nicholas, she even called it manna de Saint Nicholas. Now this meant, what this meant was manner of Saint Nicholas. Like she gave it a kind of a devotionary appearance. So it looked like it was should I say water healing, that had healing powers of Saint Nicholas. So that was what she did. So you could just sit, you just keep it there on the shelf. It looked like a harmless liquid, something that has religious powers. And then for the powder, it looked more like female cosmetic. It would just pass for a female cosmetic. Now women in this one, a woman was going through a lot, they will just like get connected, and you have to go through link, and then she had as trusted customers. So you go through this, and then she will always, Julia never failed to conduct a background check on her clients before selling off Aqua TOFANA to them. Now I would say that Julia TOFANA was a very successful poisoner. I think she is the most successful poisoner of all times. Now clients, whenever a woman was going through suffering, maltreatment from her husband, so they'll just like go to her cosmetic shop, and then she sell up this Aqua TOFANA to them. Now apart from selling up this Aqua TOFANA to them, she will also train them on how to use it. So now before the men will die, like the poison will give them a long period to like make up with their family, apologize if they have to their wives, and then draw up a will if they were the very wealthy type, and then repent of their sin. Now this was what consoled the women. They felt like, okay, he's in heaven. I didn't just murder him. He's in heaven with the angels because he got the chance to like repent before he died. So now this poison, the first drop of the poison will produce cold-like symptoms. You think you have a flu. The second drop will make you fall sick, really sick, and then the third drop would cause dehydration, vomiting, stooling, and then by the fourth drop, the victim will die. Now she could alternate this poison, like I said before, the strength of the poison, like I said before. So her daughter, so many persons were in this line of her business. Like she recruited them to assist her with producing poison. So I would say that she was a very successful poisoner. Like she succeeded in murdering over 600 men between the years 1633 to 1659. So we'll say that I think on the average, Julia started producing poison, started killing people at the age of 13. Now the thing about this is that Julia never actually poisoned anyone herself. So it was more like she was helping women in distress. You know that kind of thing now. Women supporting women, sisterhood, feminism. No, I'm sorry, but I think we could just like picture it as that at the time. So sometime in 1659, a woman a woman's husband has been maltreating her, and then she felt she needed freedom. So she went to a sister. She explained to the sister, she told her what was going on, and then she got connected. So she got connected, she went to Julia's cosmetic shop. So when she got to Julia's cosmetic shop, Julia did a background check on her, just like every other client of hers, and then they told her that she was legit. She was a legit customer. And then this woman, she gave her the Aqua TOFANA. So when she got home, she like made a bowl of soup. She invited her husband, and this man was going to eat, and then she dropped a tincture of eating the soup. And then while this man was about like eating the soup, she just screamed. She yelled at him to like stop, and he was surprised. Why you made the soup and you're asking me to not eat it? So he beat her up. Like he asked her, you have to tell me what's wrong with the soup. What's in this soup? Why you asking me not to taste it? Why I no go chop am? So she ended up like she confessed that it was poisoned. So she was taken to like their places now how they do their trial those days. She was taken to the court, and then she was tortured. She confessed Julia's name, and then so many women knew that like when this happened, like they were in deep shit. You get. So word got out. People were talking. Rumors everywhere. Rumors were swirling around. Then Julia Tofana heard it. She heard that a woman had confessed. So she immediately moved her things. I mean, so many persons sympathized with this woman. They felt like she was doing something great at the time. I am not trying to justify it, but you know what? Like the convent, like gave her they kind of granted her asylum. So she moved into the convent, and then she was living there for some time. She was hiding there. I wouldn't know if she planned to like how long she planned staying there, but she was living there with her workers and her daughter. A period of time, and then the rumors just kept spreading. It got to the point we wouldn't know if the rumors came from the men or from the community, but what got out that Julia had poisoned their community water source, and then people became scared. So everyone was searching for Julia. So at this point, they threatened the church, and then the church was told that if they do not produce Julia, that the whole like the building will be burnt. So they had no choice but like to tell her sister, abeg no vex o, we go just submit you, make church no burn am, make people no follow you die. Thing wey you do now, you do am by yourself. You get that kind of thing now. So she came out. On one account, they had said that Julia like lived in the sanctuary for a very long period till her old age, and then she eventually died. But on another account of the story says that Julia like came out, and then she was tortured, she was punished along with her daughter, three apprentices, and several other women. Like she had a very long list of clients, but over the years she couldn't like remember every one of them. I mean, 1633 to 1659, that's over 20 years of poisoning and 20 years of clients. So she wasn't able to like produce all the names of her clients, but eventually so many of her clients were burned with her, tortured, some were drowned with her. So so eventually when Julia was caught, she confessed to the killing of over 600 men in Palermo, and then she also had victims in where again she had victims in Naples, she had victims in Rome. So you can imagine like several men, over 600 dead men from one woman's product. So you tell me what you think about Aqua TOFANA and Julia Tofana, and then what you think of like what was happening in this period. Do you think like was she actually a serial killer, or was she like just trying to help, or like did that shit in the wrong way? So you let me know. Please don't forget to subscribe. Bye. That's it for me today on Julia.